Right, so this is a bit of a different video. It doesn't have like necessarily a big overarching thing. It's just a bunch of like little things that we wanted to fix, but we didn't have, each one of these little things wouldn't fill in a whole video. So we're just gonna do all these little things. We do have 2+ other videos that are happening in the background. One of them is building a shelf for right here, and then another one is building a giant scoop vent, which is taking a ton of fabrication. Hopefully that video is coming out soon. But the first thing, so the video is gonna probably jump around a little bit because we're just kind of fixing like little things that have bugged us on the trailer. And one of those things that has been little but has turned into big, this butcher block top table overhangs this shelf right here. And sometimes if something on this shelf is bigger than this opening, you have to open it up and then pull it out underneath it, and then it's just like a whole big shimmy. So there's like literally 5.5 inches right here that have caused us a lot of trouble when we're packing and unpacking. So we're gonna set up the Kurt big giant saw and just chop off the end of that, maybe break the end, and then coat this with some lacquer on the end so that it just blends in, break the edges. So that's going to be the first of the tiny little projects that we're going to tackle. The other thing is we'll probably grease the bearings on the trailer using, I think it's an Easy Lube locking grease gun. That one's pretty cool. And then we'll also use, on the top up here where we put the solar panels in, we put butyl tape on this side, and the butyl tape has been leaking out the side forever, so I want to just cut off the excess. It's been bothering me for at least a year, so that's kind of fun. But there are probably some other little nuances that we're going to fix, but if you're interested in the whole trailer saga, this is definitely the video for you. But we got a lot of other interesting content, and maybe I'll show you some sneak peeks of the other projects that are coming up before the end of this video. All right, so we got the Craig AccuCut. I got the little clamps on there. Cutting off 5.5 inches, which is against this. It's pretty tight quarters. We got a little trash bag protecting the batteries. I'm assuming there's gonna be sawdust everywhere in here. And then I put masking tape around right here. Sometimes that helps with the wood splitting, stuff like that, but it's pretty tight quarters in here, so we're gonna see how well this does or does not cut. Oh, by the way, the trailer itself, the saw, which is this DeWalt worm gear saw, is actually plugged in to the trailer, so that's fun. I don't really like this saw because it's like pretty powerful and strong and feels pretty dangerous, but here we go. Well, we'll probably spend the rest of the month just cleaning the trailer off. So the painter's tape, no tear out. It's a pretty sharp edge, so we'll break the edge, and then on this side, I'll probably retape it off and just put on a little bit of lacquer so that it matches the rest of that. And now we can fully get into this, and it's probably going to be little pieces of blue painter's tape everywhere for at least the next 1,000 miles. And then here's what's left of the batteries down here, and luckily my wife had an idea of putting a trash bag over them. All right, I think it's pretty good. That AccuCut with the DeWalt saw cuts it so good and straight that it's like a razor blade right here. So just kind of breaking the edges. I'm not sure that I'm gonna put lacquer on here just because it's inside this trailer and it's just spray paint inside of an enclosed area. It's just gonna get all over everything unless I tape everything off. So I'm not sure that that I want to do that if the juice is worth the squeeze, because it's just the edge right here. So I'm just running my hand over everything just to feel if everything feels, because if there's anything sharp, I know either me or my kids will find it. Probably me, because I'm the one usually taking stuff off the shelf. I think that's good, so I think we're gonna tackle that butyl tape now. All right, so here is the butyl tape, just kind of oozing its way out. So we didn't use it on the other side. So what I want to do is just kind of get up there and scrape it off. Man, it's like tacky. I don't know. I don't like butyl tape. So we got a rag with some alcohol, seems to be doing something. Kind of getting all the big boogies off. So scraper and some alcohol. So we'll see if this ever comes back. Hopefully not. But I think on to greasing the wheels now. So on my trailer, I specifically bought these rims because there's a little hatch right here that pops off. And then inside of there is the little gasket for the easy lube. So then you pull off that. And then I highly recommend getting the lock and lube system, because this thing is just so easy. There, it's on, and then just pump it up. So some people pump this up until they see new grease. So grease that is like bright red, like that, in comparison to the grease that it's gonna shoot out, which is gonna be darker because it's, you know, been used. I just tend to make sure that it has enough grease. So that's all the old grease that has shot out of it. So I just take this and put it on there. Maybe put a little bit more in, and then to me it's good. You know, maybe if we're going on like a really long trip, I'll, you know, flush them out. But I think that is pretty good. And then just need to put everything back together. That's it. All right, so the other odd thing is up here. I noticed when we're going down the road, it kind of flickers. So the marker lights on the other side are fine, but there's only two on this side. There was one on this door, but we took it off. And there's this one back here, and the lights look like they're on. They're just really faint. Well, they kind of flicker a little bit. So I think I'm gonna dive into the one up here. Kind of feels like it's maybe a ground issue. Well, so I think I'm gonna need to take it apart. Oh, maybe that's what the problem is. The screw is actually out. Yeah, this screw right here backed out. And that's the screw that the ground wire's on. Oh, that was an easy fix. So just need to tighten this up, and then we'll go on to the other one. Oh, there it is. Apparently, ground issue. Well, luckily that's just probably not a permanent fix, but at least a temporary fix. So got both of those. I'm gonna see if there's anything else to figure out around this trailer. All right, so I think the last thing we got before I show you maybe a little preview of what we're working on is this, I think I'm saying it right, Aura Light reflective tape. So This is the most reflective tape that you can possibly get. I was looking at it for another project. I thought maybe some little squares of this would be pretty cool on the trailer, especially at night, so somebody knows we're there. This is meant for marine applications. It's supposed to, like, it looks pretty crazy if you see it. We've hit this with like a flashlight and a flash. It seems like it's like reflecting more light than that's hitting it. Even though it looks kind of dark and gray right now, it's very reflective. So we're gonna figure out some spots to put this on the trailer just to make sure it stands out at night. All right, so it's gonna cut it on these little, I don't know, these little prisms. So I'll have a link in the description. I was only able to find this on eBay, but if I can find it on Amazon, I'll put it on there for you. So cleaning with alcohol, even though this is supposed to have the craziest adhesion, can stick to an ocean buoy for 10, 20 years. I'm gonna kind of just stick this around the trailer just to see what it's like. And I've never actually used it. I've had it for quite a few years. Alrighty. So I'm just kind of cutting out a little square right here just to so that way if we're it'd be kind of interesting to see if it's brighter than that reflector. All right, so we're gonna pick a couple other spots around the trailer and then I'll show you where we should put them. All right, we put the Aura light on down there, put some on up there, and one down there. Kind of looks pretty crazy as you walk by it. One on the corner, one on the corner. So it's on the back too, and then the same around the other side. So it's, I wanted to see if I could find the best part as I'm like walking past it. It has like this weird spectrum. I don't even know if the camera's picking it up. Yeah, it kind of is right there. So maybe I'll get some clips of this later tonight. All right, so here we go. You can see all those stickers picking up light. But now I need to show you the sneak peek. All right, so now for your sneak peek. So we wanted a ram air vent. So I know we have video after video after event after event, but all they could really find is something like this with this little piece in there. And this is kind of just a little bit too for me. So we decided to go ahead and build our own. And unfortunately, I didn't have any thin sheets of metal. So right now it is in the process of being bondoed and we've already welded it. We bent this by putting it underneath the C20 over there and jacking up against it, and then completely fabricated a grill for the inside instead of whatever that was for that one. So this is what you have to look forward to. This video is already over 120 gigs long, so it might end up being a longer video, but hope you stay tuned for it. And thanks for watching this sort of just fixing little nuances, but there are a lot of big projects behind the works, especially this one.